Hello.
Hello friends, and welcome to another lesson. Today our focus will be on atoms, elements and molecules. What is an atom, or an element, or a molecule? Now, before we go into atoms, elements and molecules, we would have to learn about a particular word called matter. What is a matter? A matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. Using water for an example, if water is solid, that is an ice, it can occupy space and it has mass. That means there are particles, it's made up of particles, and it can occupy space. When water becomes liquid, it also occupies space, the space in the cup or in a bottle. And when water becomes gas, it also occupies space. You can see that in our atmosphere. Or when you have a boiling kettle water, you're seeing the steam coming out. That's water vapor. It can occupy space. So matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. Matter are made up of small particles we call atoms. A gas has particles, liquid has particles, solid has particles. The difference is how closely they are to each other, or how close they are to each other. In gaseous states, the particles or atoms are far away from each other. In liquid, they are much closer, but in solid, they are tightly bound together. That's the difference in their state. So matters are made up of small particles, and those particles are called atoms. Now, let's look at atom. What is an atom? And how can we identify an atom? Atoms are small particles that make up matter. We just said that. John Dalton was an English school teacher who studied the atom in 1808. He described a matter as being made up of small particles called atoms. So, John Dalton described matter to have particles. Atoms cannot be further cut or broken down. In the basic level, atoms cannot be further broken down. They are basically the smallest form of a matter. That's at basic level. Now, let's move over to elements. Matter is sometimes made of a single type of atom. When all the atoms in a matter is the same, the matter is called an element. Now, let me explain. When you have a matter, an object, a substance, liquid, solid, or gas, and the atoms in it are the same, we call it an element. Using gold for an example, gold is formed by gold atoms. So you could have several gold atoms joined together, tightly bound together, and they form matter. And that matter we call is gold, or the matter would be gold. So those substance or matter that is formed by a particular atom, so gold atoms coming together to form a matter, and there is no other type of atom joining them, we call those substance elements. An element could be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. An example of a gaseous element is oxygen gas. Oxygen gas has two oxygen atoms coming together to form an element. And in the case of hydrogen gas, we have two hydrogen atoms coming together to form hydrogen gas, and we can say hydrogen elements. So an element could be solid, it could be liquid, or it could be a gas. But one thing we should note is that an element is formed when a particular type of atom come together. All the atoms in that substance is the same. They look alike, they behave alike, they are from the same family, they have the same properties. That's what make up an element. But what about molecule? A molecule is formed when one or more kinds of atom joins together. So if I have, for an example, oxygen atom coming together with carbon atom and another oxygen atom, they come together to form carbon dioxide. So we don't call this an element because you have more than one type of atom coming together. We now call this molecule. When you have more than one type of atom coming together to form a matter, we call that molecule. Another example is oxygen coming together with hydrogen to form water. Two hydrogen atom binds or joins an oxygen atom, and this forms the water we drink. The food we eat is composed of molecules. So molecules are very important because without them, you're just going to have elements. And in our universe, there are several combinations of atoms to form several types of molecules. So our foods, for example, have several combinations of atoms. Several atoms bind together to form different types of molecules, and these can be seen in our food, in our clothes, anything around us are mainly formed by molecules. Even in our water, the water we drink, our bodies are formed by molecules because different atoms come together to form molecules. So molecules are very important and they are more complex than elements. Here are some activities for you. Try them out and improve your understanding of atoms, elements, and molecules. See you in my next class. Bye.